Okay, so we can't let Joe get off the stage without a couple of more people saying a couple of more things. And I just want to say very, very briefly that when I first met Johanna, it was 1984. I was 24 and she was 27. When she gave me my very first job in public radio. We were like yin and yang. She, as she calls herself, was moderate in the extreme. And I was just extreme. And we left, and 20 years later, she hired me again at Third Coast. When we were 24 and 27, I don't think we could even imagine turning 30, let alone getting married, having 6 children between us, turning 40, 50, and now 60. I mean, what the fuck, right? So anyway, I just want to take a second in front of our friends and our colleagues and a brand new generation of Third Coasters to say thank you for seeing something in me, for hiring me for my very first job in public radio, what could very well be my last job in public radio. And just so you know, I'm not the only one who wants to say something.
Okay, Johanna Zorn, Ann Hepperman here, and what we're about to listen to is a tribute from all of us, I guess I kind of hate to say it, but old-timers, people who have been or who were at Third Coast during the very first years, some of our memories. And I remember going to Third Coast and not really knowing if I was supposed to be there, right? Even though I was surrounded by all of these people who were stars in my eyes, I ended up feeling very quickly that, yeah, it was a place for me. Third Coast changed my life and made me who I am today, and it's really because of you. Anyways, people are tired of hearing me talk, so let's get on with it.
Which track am I on? 6, okay. This is Sid Lewis from Atlantic Public Media.
This is Davia Nelson of the Kitchen Sisters.
Nikki here.
My name is Neil Sando.
Hi Johanna, this is Jonathan and Barner.
This is Alan Ho from Fully Free Production.
I'm Hilary Frey.
It's Kari from Radio Rookies.
Hey Johanna, it's Jay Allison. What a thing you made. Can you remember back when it all started?
I remember you could find a blanket out of all the delegates. After 3 days, I didn't know each other by name.
You know this. Everybody else would know that the thing that happened at Third Coast those early years is that I met my wife.
That's me. Thank you, Johanna, for creating a space where all kinds of things can be made, including human babies.
The joy of being in the same room together, talking about this art form, this work. At the awards ceremony, I thought it was very glamorous. It felt like the Academy Awards.
A place where you can go and talk about work and fill in the lines between ambition and hope, and not be pitching radio stations, but instead entering into civil and adventurous discourse about the things people actually made.
There was this moment. There was this presenter from England named Alan Hall. I'd never heard of him. But Alan played this excerpt from his documentary called Knoxville. And it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard. It was lush and layered, and it was not just a documentary, it was poetry. And when it finished, I knew that is what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to do it yet, but I knew I'd come to the right place.
I don't think I had ever experienced anything like it, and you know what? I don't think I've experienced anything like it since.
I remember hearing this piece, and it was a piece about a kid in a hospital, but the piece itself was almost like music. The way it was created and edited. It just like the kid's voice, there were these cello pizzicato lines. I remember like hearing that and my brain short-circuited. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know you could do that in a radio story. That for me is Third Coast. It's like those moments, you know? It grabs your little brain, shakes your little brain, and then spits you out into a new version of yourself. I do not think I would be doing what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it, without Third Coast.
One thing I clearly remember was this atmosphere of openness and collaboration and trust. This excitement created by Johanna and Julie. Their brainchild and hard work created one of those moments, those turning points for us, the Kitchen Sisters, and so many others. Thank you.
And Johanna Zorn and all the enthusiasm that she had for the medium and for us as budding radio producers. It was like she became the backbone of our careers. She was the one that gave us a vision for what could be possible.
Congratulations on all of it.
Congratulations. Also, I met my wife at Third Coast. So, thank you.
Yay, Johanna!
Thank you.
Look, I don't know. I tried to do this without gushing. I actually tried doing this last night. I finally gave up because all I could do was gush.
Hey, here. Love Third Coast. Love what it has done to bring people together, to celebrate and learn about this work.
The audio world is unrecognizable. You know, people now have jobs. There's an expectation of payment, even of listeners, millions of them. But she and Third Coast have shaped this complex audio landscape for the better. So, Johanna, thank you.
This one. Yes. Hi. I'm going to try to do this without crying. Johanna, you made it through. I'm not going to be so good, I don't think. I'm Lee Vanderslice. I am one of the founding board members, was the first president not named Johanna Zorn of the organization, and I'm still a board member. On behalf of the board and the organization that you have birthed, I want to acknowledge and thank you. Could you all close your eyes for 1 sec? Not for me, close your eyes. I'd like to think of a song, a story, a piece of sound, a moment, as you guys call it, a tape that you really love, that inspired you, and was your teacher. Now I want you to open your eyes and I want you to look around at the people that you see around you and think about those who have supported you here or around in this organization, who have made you better, who have kept you going, doing the work, the hard work that you have to do to make the art that you do. I'm here to say that so much of what I love and what you love, and that we will love in audio in the next generation, has Third Coast in it. So many storytellers, audio wizards, journalists, documentarians, the people we love found their voice, their courage to share and explore that voice, to experiment, the support, the nurturing through a very sometimes lonely and challenging profession. They found it here through Third Coast, or through the airways of Third Coast, or through the people it created. And at the heart of Third Coast is a woman named Johanna Zorn. She's a remarkable human being, an incredible organizer, and an artist. 20 years ago, when tape was still tape, and before there were half the things that she mentioned that now are just sort of everyday pieces, Johanna saw the need for a community, for a teaching platform, for a champion for a form that she believed in. And through love and labor, she built this. Johanna, you are really a special person, and you have nurtured an incredible organization. So few of us can claim even half as much as our legacy. And I think I, on behalf of the board and everyone we here, are profoundly grateful for what you've done. The short version of all this is that you will be missed, but you will never not be here, because you are in our DNA, and you are clearly in the DNA of audio. And we are grateful for that, and we promise to be careful, caring stewards of what you have built. Thank you.
What to say? Even my mom, when I told her I'd be sharing some thoughts in honor of Johanna today, said, "How can you possibly summarize everything in a few minutes?" And she should know, Mom's been following the Third Coast since before it started. In fact, since August 24th, 2000, when I forwarded an email to her from Johanna that explained, "If funding comes through, I'd like to talk to you about working with me on the festival." Here is the message from Johanna at WBEZ, I typed to Mom. "Sounds kinda exciting." Kinda exciting indeed. Within weeks of that email, Johanna hired me, took me under her wing, and changed my life. And in the decades since, she has changed countless other lives, so many in this room, I'm sure. In those earliest days, as part of WBEZ, we worked tirelessly. We listened and we dreamed, and we learned the hard way about challenges big and small, like designing the perfect conference name tag. Always with Johanna's steady hand on the tiller, steering the ship forward. I can't help the nautical metaphor, it's built in. I asked Ira Glass, who hosted the very first Third Coast broadcast and has been involved in lots of ways over the years, what he remembered about that very first year. Mainly, I remember how handmade the whole thing seemed at the beginning, Ira said. Every single part of it had to be invented from scratch. Just a big, sprawling puzzle with so many pieces. In a word, agree. It was very handmade, and it also felt very handwritten, like our own Choose Your Own Adventure book, as we charted the course for this brand new audio festival. Always with Johanna's steady hand on the tiller, steering us forward. Cut to a decade later. At that point, we'd gone independent and had a sassy new pigeon logo to prove it. We were still working tirelessly, listening, dreaming, and learning the hard way. Now, there have been, as you've seen, a lot of photos of the two of us over the years, but I think that this one is my favorite. It was taken at the closing of the 2010 conference when we tried something really different. Musician Andrew Bird and printmaker Jay Ryan joined us for a session billed as a conversation about inspiration, collaboration, creativity, community, and storytelling that will leave your ears ringing in a good way. So I re-listened a few weeks ago. You can do that too through the library, the archive. And while it actually is not the most successful closing session, but kudos to Captain Zorn for greenlighting such an untraditional experience. And if the session itself wasn't flawless, well then the description is a pitch-perfect summary of what Third Coast has always been, a conversation first conceived by Johanna between producers and listeners about inspiration, collaboration, creativity, community, and storytelling that will leave your ears ringing in a good way. Cut to now. Nearly 10 years later. I'm no longer directly involved, but I know that the current team works tirelessly, listens, dreams, and I bet is still learning some things the hard way. But I do think they've nailed the conference name tags. And while that initial conversation that Johanna sparked has evolved in so many ways, we're still having it at the conference every year and far beyond. And I'm trying to convey to you the totality of what Johanna has contributed to this beautiful culture that we've all made together. But my mom was right, because moms are always right. How can I possibly summarize everything in a few minutes? It's not possible. But Johanna, I want you to know, and not off the top of my head, little inside joke there, because I think about this all the time. As host and colleague and mentor and friend, you have made all of our lives richer and smarter and more meaningful than mere words can convey. But I'm going to try one more time with the help of 19 podcast titles, one for every year of the festival so far, which I will signal with this little bell to leave our ears ringing in a good way. Okay, I'm still processing how this audio everything took shape straight from the heart, along the way exploring the world according to sound, mostly unfictional, designing a radio lab for trying everything, and a home of the bravest producers from around the world, inspiring so much audio lore. As you've heard, there is some juicy stuff in the Third Coast Annals, while sharing the audio stuff you should know and supporting the daily needs of audio makers everywhere. Every year, witnessing another round of brilliance, bringing those in the dark into the light and onto the dance floor, celebrating how and why sound matters. The truth is, serendipity brought us all to this moment. Love and radio have sustained the Third Coast Festival all these years, and I'm sure you get the gist of this by now. It would be criminal for me to continue this much longer. There are no shortcuts to excellence. Johanna has worked tirelessly and listened and dreamed across the past 2 decades to nurture the excellence and the integrity associated with the Third Coast Festival. No feeling is final, but right now, with the deepest admiration and gratitude and love for all you have done, I am so honored and very lucky to present you with a gift. The Third Coast International Audio Festival Audio Visionary Award goes to, say it with me, Johanna Zorn. Johanna will be outside, so you can mob her out there, and and I'll slip into conference mode, change, get some food. We'll see you all at the ceremony in a couple.